I'm back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Paper Tiger. If you're new here, my name is Steven, and last January I announced that I bought this moped. I bought a moped! This is my 1983 Honda PA50ii. It's a 50cc two-stroke moped, and if you can believe it, I bought it in even worse condition than it is right now. Poor fella. I haven't gone through it yet, and I don't know what all is wrong with it. Here's what I do know, is that it was running and driving 3 years ago. It has sat for 3 years, and it's probably going to need at least the carb cleaned, new battery, and tires. If you guys can see, this thing has been sitting for a while, and this thing is not in the best of shape. I mean, we got rust on the chrome pretty much everywhere, rust all up in there. Suspension's in pretty terrible shape. Just a whole lot of stuff to do, and on top of that, we need to get it cleaned up, looking a little bit more spiffy. So as you just saw, I bought this thing with a lot of love required to make it good again. And the first thing that I decided to tackle was tires. Like you saw, the front wheel wasn't on in that video because there was no front tire. So I bought 2 tires, I put one on the front wheel, and I went to put it on the bike only to realize that the previous owner gave me an axle that wasn't complete. There were pieces missing from the axle, including these 2 outer nuts, which actually bolted onto the bike. So I tried to go out and make an axle out of parts from Tractor Supply, but it ended up not working. It was too loose, so I ended up just buying OEM Honda part off of eBay, and it was a very expensive piece, but it was a complete axle assembly, and when I put it all together, it fit great, and it's been working well ever since. Which meant now that I had tires and an axle, I could ride this thing like it was a bike. But this thing has a motor on it, and it's meant to use that motor. So that was my next challenge, to get it running. First, I worked on the fuel system. I cleaned out the tank. It was really rusty. Then I cleaned the fuel petcock, which was so gummed up that I thought I was gonna have to buy a new one. And then I cleaned the carb, which is not for the faint of heart because it is underneath this engine part right on here. So you have to drop the entire engine and lift the frame off of it to get the carb unbolted. I also replaced all of the fuel lines, and I put in a fuel filter because I was still worried about the rust in the tank. Did I mention that there was rust in the tank? It was really bad. Also remember that because it's gonna be important later. Airplane. With the fuel system sorted, next I tackled spark. After a lot of messing with the bike and doing a lot of research online, I came to realize that this bike is a CDI bike. Starting in 1982, Honda used a CDI system to provide spark for these bikes. If you guys don't know what CDI is, just for the purposes of this video, because I'm not going to explain it very well, you have to have a battery in order to get spark. So I went out and bought a battery at the nearest Honda Power Sports dealership I could find. I put it in here and realized that the wiring harnesses didn't match. So I called in my friend David, the best in the biz when it comes to wiring, and we prepared to start this bike for the first time in 3 years. We have
right now
we have a fully functioning battery that's sending power to the CDI system.
Should be.
Choke is on. We know we have fuel in the lines. We're hoping it's making it to the carb. Fuel is in the tank for the first time.
No idea about spark.
Yeah, we haven't technically tested for spark, but the light is coming on. Decomp in.
Light is on.
Light's going strong, actually.
I'm not getting some. Not getting some.
Whew. I tell you what, that's a workout. We can pull the plug out, ground it to the engine. You ready?
Yep. On up here we have spark.
You do have spark?
No, we don't.
Oh. I have a theory
That being?
that the CDI system might need to be routed together. Okay, yeah, we just sent a loop to the CDI wire, and we have spark. Ignition on. Oh, it's going!
Yes.
Wait, it's going! It's so quiet, I didn't even hear it. We have a living motor in this thing. Holy cow!
Carb needs
All right, kill it immediately. I got excited there. It's a lot quieter than I realized. I didn't realize it was so quiet.
I didn't realize it was running until...
Yeah, I know. We didn't realize it. Like, I don't know what's wrong.
What do you know? When I...
That makes me so excited. Holy cow.
Yeah,
First start in 3 years, by the way. Like, this thing hadn't run in 3 years before I got it.
Impressive. It's alive.
Yes, it is.
It's awesome. It's a lot of smoke. Yikes.
What's up? It's the big bike. It was going great there for a minute. Also, the nice thing is that you can just pedal it home.
Yeah, in case that happens.
So after that first test ride, me and David went out and picked up our friend Tommy because the three of us wanted to hang out. Now, I was taking it pretty easy on the test ride, but Tommy has a bit of a different approach when it comes to testing stuff. If it doesn't break whenever you're driving it flat out, probably it's not going to break. And for once, I think he might have been in the right here, because riding flat out might have just been what my gummed up old carb needed. Can I ride it first? Because it do be mine?
Here, hold this. I'm holding. I love how we like always end up doing this in the dark. Burn out. Okay, you should probably pedal too. Okay, my turn. There you go.
I know, right? That was pretty smart, actually, because I didn't think about that. Just let it run there for a second off the ground. And the moped ran great that night. I wasn't able to film because it was super duper dark, but we rode it around the neighborhood and it was really, really fun. This is a really fun bike. I recommend getting one if you're able to get one. And I wish the story just ended happily right here, that I have another working project and everything is great. But that's not what happened. Like I said, there was still rust in the tank, and then I got caught up in other projects, and then I went to Montana for 2 weeks. And so the moped sat. And when I returned from Montana and tried to start the bike, all that rust in the tank had finally returned to bite me in the butt. I have been gone for a little bit, and the moped has been sitting, and I noticed this right before I left, and it's way worse now that I've come back. The fuel petcock has been leaking really badly. You can see all the residue of like that oily garbage on the bottom of that reservoir there. I think there's still some rust in the gas tank, even though I tried to clean it as good as I could. I don't think it worked quite as well as I was hoping to. I think it's probably gummed up the fuel petcock again. It could mean that I need a new fuel petcock, but I'm going to try and just clean it again and see if I can get it running again. So I'm gonna take apart the fuel petcock real quick and see what I can see. Okay, my initial diagnostics looking at this thing, it's pretty gunky in there. Also, I just wanted to mention, I didn't mention this before, but you see this little feeder? Well, this broke whenever I was tearing this apart the last time and cleaned it. So this is actually the straw of a juice box. Reduce, reuse, recycle, baby. Okay, 10 minutes later of progress. I just sprayed this thing out really good, and these little two holes down in there, they were definitely gummed up. So that was our issue, and it should be running pretty good after this. I also cleaned up this filter and the inside of the reservoir because they were nasty. So we're gonna put this thing back together in 3, 2, 1. Dang, dude, that was fast. Also, ignore the fact that I'm working on a trash can. Oh, it went there for a second. Okay, probably shouldn't have full throttled it. Come on, you want to live? It goes there for a second. Dude, hold on. Can you guys see this? It's a little hazy over there. Who the heck is that? Oh my gosh, it's so humid. So, sorry, I don't have a camera guy, but I just took the moped like halfway up the street. That's as far as I can make it. It just keeps dying over and over. It's bogging just really hard. So unfortunately, I think the sitting for a couple weeks and me not messing with it has kind of screwed the carb over. I think that we're gonna have to end it here. The moped ran, we did it. First time in 3 years. We got this thing going pretty good for a while there, but I let it sit. That's on me. Now I gotta go through it again. So that'll be in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. If you enjoyed it, please consider hitting the thumbs up button. And if you enjoy my videos, please consider subscribing, especially if you want to see more of this moped, because it's going to be back. Don't worry about that. That's going to be all for now. So I will see you guys next time whenever I'm tearing this thing apart and putting it back together. And until then, have a great rest of your day, everyone. And bye-bye. So that's all I had for the script. So all right. It's been real. Catch you guys later.